Going on, everybody? This is Marion from Marion Morrison Coaching, and today I want to come on and talk about how do you create a system for parenting your way when you are just thrown all these like classes and like told to parent a certain type of way. So I want to help you think about how do you create a system that really serves you for your parenting strategies. So just even play with me, like think about how do I play with this in my life? How could I actually like implement things that Marion's talking about my way? This doesn't have to be my way in telling you how to do something, but I would really invite you to just listen to things that I say and then think, how do I adjust this my way so that it can be really effective in my parenting life? So I want to really talk about like discipline, and this is such a sensitive topic when it comes to parenting, because there's a lot of rights, there's a lot of wrongs, there's a lot of judgments, there's a lot of expectations, and overall, like there really is no answer of like what is the best way for discipline when your kids are like, or even is it discipline? I don't know, but I'm just throwing terminology that we're so used to hearing. And I want to start challenging you to think about, again, what works best for you. Because so many years, I have taught over 13 different parenting classes, and I have always just been feeling like a failure if things were not going out like the book would say, or if I learned how to facilitate this course and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm telling these parents to do something and I don't even do this for my own kids because they don't listen. And yeah, so I'm just totally like in this space of like that. I want to talk about honest parenting. Um, so I'll start with a little story, and this story happened this morning, and I thought it was really, really relevant to come on and share with you my experience. This is only week one that school's been back, and we've had an awesome week. Really been planned and organized, and little things like having the uniforms prepped or having after school activities planned. Like we went swimming almost every day this week. This morning, my 9-year-old got up and decided that he totally didn't want to cooperate with my expectations of what should be happening in our house. And it caused a lot of upheaval this morning for him. And like, I just felt super sad for him because he was really angry. It took him a really long time to get dressed. I gave him his breakfast and it took him like 20 minutes to eat one bite, and he just wasn't on the same page as me. And I was thinking, man, like I've really worked hard this week, and I've really been organized and like I've been super mom. Like, why is this not working? And I'm starting to feel like these emotions and really, really recognize that it's feeling heavy. And I think that's the best way to describe it for me is it's feeling heavy. And it's so like you're battling because you're like, I feel this frustration. I feel like I have these tools on how to be a really calm, collective, like parent and be a good role model for my kids. But I'm also a human being and I also can snap super quick too. So what's the awareness that I want to bring to myself right now? And I felt this morning that I was so proud of myself, and I was so proud of myself because I recognize these feelings of like getting frustrated and being like, come on, we have to get ready, we have to go to school. So I genuinely like I felt this emotion, and I felt like in my head I was asking myself like questions that Byron Katie says, like you know I was thinking in my head this morning, I'm such a bad parent. Like, I can't even get my kids ready for school on time. And then I said, is this true? And I had to sit with that question for a minute. And I was so proud of myself for even saying to myself, is it true that you're thinking you're a bad parent? Because see, once that thought comes into your head, like you could be here and then you start to go down. And then you can be like, you know what? I am a bad parent. I'm not doing a great job. And you can go down further and see this little problem, like, for example, him not eating his cereal and not getting dressed, the problem starts to grow and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Your frustration levels get bigger and bigger and bigger. It gets louder. It gets like crazy in your house, and you're thinking, oh man, like, either I'm going to explode or I'm going to be like, I got this. I got this. It's under control. This morning, I was super proud of myself because I showed up, in super control. And I messaged my husband. I like text him and I was like, dude, I feel like I just took like a chill pill, like a relaxation mummy superpower pill. And it just like gave me this like inner peace. And I was just like, Calvin, like I'm going to go to the car. When you're ready, I want you to come up. Mommy loves you. And I really want us to have a good day. Okay. He was just like that. Mom, I don't think so. He was yelling. He was screaming. He actually told me that he was going to kill me in my sleep, that kind of thing. So, but it was so interesting because I saw his emotions and I felt so sad for him because my son was so angry. And I couldn't understand because like we have this awesome environment. I'm a great parent. My husband's amazing. Like it's just, I couldn't understand where is this anger and frustration coming from. So again, I just remained like really calm and just like seeing the possibility of what it would look like if I stayed and remained nice and calm. So I did it, and I got my other kid, and I went up to the car, and 3 minutes later, or sorry, about 5 minutes later, Calvin comes walking up, and his hair is not done. He's got toothpaste all in his mouth, shirts like crazy wrinkled because he'd taken everything off, and I like rolled down my window, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, get in the car." And he got in the car and he was yelling. He was still really upset. And I was thinking, he doesn't have a school tie. He doesn't have his jumper on. And his hair's a mess. Oh my gosh, the teachers are going to judge me. And then again, I got this like compassion in my heart. I got this like sense of, Marion, let it go. Let go your expectations of what you have for what you want your son going into school. Because see, when you look at reality right now, the reality is he's come up to the car. He is getting in the car because he's on his way to school. So again, at that moment, I could decide to show up like a super crazy mom or a super chilled mom. And I chose a super chilled mom. And it was so interesting because I actually had the ability to choose either one. And I wanted to go here. So I went here. And it really served me. It really got me into this place of just compassion for my kid. I dropped him off and he's like, I don't care if you don't love me. And he's getting out of the car and I'm like, son, I hope you have a great day. I love you so much. And I was driving home and I just felt really gentle. I felt really, really, really like just in this place of like just softness. And, finally I got home and I just decided that I really wanted to bless him and I really wanted to serve him and be like just this loving, nurturing mom that's full of compassion and understanding. And here's the most important thing. I wanted to be full of forgiveness too. I don't want him to come home and be like, oh man, see the way you acted this morning, go to your room. This was crazy. Because this happened like 7 hours ago. I want to create this environment, and I'm not saying that you have to do this every time. This is just for you to think about how can this show up in your worlds. But today is Friday. It's the first week of school. My son was probably extremely, extremely tired, and I am not making excuses for him, by the way. But I have been given this grace of compassion today. So I went up and I cleaned his room. It wasn't really that messy anyway, but made his bed, and I'm going to write a little note that just says, hey, I hope you have a chilled weekend. I love you. Or something just to really affirm him of the unconditional love that a mother has for their kids. And I know sometimes we're so used to punishing our kids and it has to happen, but I just wanted to invite you to do something maybe that you're not doing, because I know that if I wasn't hit with this compassion pill today, what would that look like for us coming home? After school, what would that look like for him, feeling that anxiety of thinking like when he comes home, because I did say you're going to have a consequence, which he will, but I'll deal with that when the time is right. So my whole thing for you today, a couple of things is Just think of the system that you can create that can really, really serve you and your children. Second is seeing reality for what it is. So really saying to yourself, whenever you're having these doubting thoughts about your parenting, I want you to ask yourself, is this true? And if you say yes or no or whatever it is, ask yourself again, is this really true? And feel free to drop me a message if you're confused about all this, all the parts, the questions that you can ask yourself. But there's a lot of things you can do, especially through the work of Byron Katie. It's just type in Byron Katie, the work, and it can help talk you through and answer some problems that are, really help you be aware of the thoughts that you're creating in your head, and how to really rewrite that story so it serves you. So, yeah, so let it go. If you can let something go and have no expectations and don't be attached to the outcome because it's not your way, things might be a little bit more gentle. Like I totally can promise you that. And the last thing is I just invite you to have some grace and compassion. And this isn't only for your children, this is for yourself. Sometimes we really, really beat ourselves up as a parent. And the best thing for me is like getting a cup of tea. And I'm just loving the Scottish flag, by the way. Getting a cup of tea, relaxing, and just saying, Marion, you're doing a really good job. Like you're doing your absolute best at most given moments. Like you should be really proud of yourself. So if you're watching this and you're a parent, like I just want to encourage you and love you and say, like, as long as you're doing your very best, which I'm sure you are, like be so gentle with yourself. And these crazy tempers, the tantrums, like let's look at that bigger picture of their life. They're gonna pass. So if we can just love the heck out of them and encourage them and just bless them and serve them, get that balance some way for you. I'm not saying let your kids walk all over you, or if they're bad, go do nice things for them. But I'm just saying have some compassion in your heart, and the whole situation is going to just feel a lot better. So I really, really encourage all of you just to keep being amazing and loving, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. A lot more videos will be coming up in the next few months. And also check out my Facebook, my Instagram, that kind of thing, all the social media. And my website is www.marionmorrisoncoaching.com. So take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being amazing. Love you guys.